grateful for. It's
That
that
give you a little bit more wiggle room.
I do believe the left and the right are coming to this understanding.
Is that from yours?
That they always pretend it's an either or.
It's what from mine?
It's not. It's not an either or. We lose every single time. They have found different.
I can hear like faint.
Yeah, Candace Owens just started playing in my ears, and I'm like, it's
not a bad
Ian.
thing.
Yeah, it's Ian on this thing. But yeah,
absolutely.
And I'm starting to get more vocal about it because I'm like, man, fuck y'all, bro. Like, you know, you guys talk crazy to motherfuckers every day, and I just matched y'all's audacity, and y'all had a fucking meltdown. But I'm the type, I do a lot for the city, you know, especially when I'm there, and I make platforms, and I put people on, and I do it out of pocket, and that's just because what I love to do. And I don't really have no hidden motivations. My thing is like, yeah, I would like to earn the right to make music with you. And I think that's why she did it, because she knew that was the only thing that would really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And I got over it.
Of course. And I mean, I it's so corny to say, but like it weeds them out. And now you know kind of like who to work with and who not to. Like you can't expect to mesh well with everybody, but it's really hard when it's like you have so much admiration for a person and what they do and what they create. And that's why they tell you, like, never meet your idols, you know, because you just never know who you're going to get. Yeah. You're, like, building up this idea of who they are in your head. And fantasies are almost always better than reality, but it's a damn shame.
Yeah, it is, you know, but what I've noticed with Cincinnati already being, you know what, let's get started, because this is great stuff to talk. I mean, I'm already recording. I always kind of do that. I sneak the record on there. But we'll get started. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, y'all. It's your boy, Diggity Dean Dane Sampson, or whatever you feel like calling me today. If you really know me, you know I'm trying to chill more in Daner's world. Today, I am here with Miss Jordan, a Cincinnati-based artist of a kind of different plethora. She does hair, she makes music, she makes clothes, she does these wonderful paintings. You know, we just found each other on Instagram, but this is how connections are made. Cute bedroom, by the way.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. So you just celebrated your 1-year anniversary, Cincinnati anniversary, moving from Colorado, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So what part of, did you live like near Denver? Where'd you live out there?
No, I was like 45 minutes west of Aspen. So I was kind of like right in that little ski corridor. And man, it was a funky place to grow up. It was wild. It feels really good to kind of get out to a place that has more opportunity and similar culture. But yeah. I think when people hear Aspen, they kind of make a lot of assumptions, but it's a huge tourist place. And like, I definitely was not from Aspen. I worked for the people who lived there, and woo!
The only thing I know culturally to reference Aspen to is Dumb and Dumber. That's it.
You want to know what's kind of funny?
Yeah.
You legally like can't film in Aspen because of the fact that there's so many like high profile people that live there. So that wasn't even filmed in Colorado, I don't think. It definitely wasn't filmed in Aspen. Yeah.
I believe it. Because, you know, when you get to that upper echelon of life, it's harder, especially if you're famous, to like a private life. Are you just seeing Rihanna, some lady just tried to shoot up her house?
People are going fucking nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, the world.
I didn't see that, but I hate to say that I'm not surprised, which is really sad.
No, I'm not either, and you don't know what kind of ties they have. You know what I mean? I mean, he just A$AP Rocky just beat a murder trial. You know,
100%.
I do love their relationship, though. I do love.
No, I think they're adorable. Rihanna's by far like one of my favorite artists. I think she's such a like powerful female influence. But 100%. I think like the more we're learning about, I don't know, just from what we know, I think that there's so much more behind the scenes than fans will ever realize. Yeah.
Well, yeah, once you get to that status, especially, I mean, she's a billionaire twice. She has 2 companies, separate companies now that are worth over $1 billion. She was born on an island on Barbados. You know what I mean?
Damn, really?
Yeah. Yeah, she had to join the Barbados military at 16, you know, and then she was discovered by Jay, you know, which, you know, Jay does have an eye for talent. You know, you want to think, especially in this landscape, you don't really know what to believe. Because, like, yes, they could just be trying to slander a powerful black man. And, like, with Diddy, you know, the reason, and Jay just did this too, the reason they took him down, like, he was, when you're allowed to operate, just like Epstein was, just, you know, Diddy are, they know what the fuck you're doing. In today's society, there are no secrets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he sued the biggest liquor company in the world because he had signed a deal, and then when he got his independent brand, they weren't pushing it, and he sued them, and 6 months later, he was in prison.
Damn.
Jay-Z just sued one, you know, and he just keeps playing. So they're only going to allow you to be so powerful. I mean, but he still is controlling the Super Bowl. I love Beyonce, um, but I love Rihanna more. If you had to choose Beyonce or Rihanna,
Oh, Rihanna all the way.
yeah,
I don't like Beyonce.
really, I love
Yeah, I
Beyonce.
don't like her.
I love
And I can't
Beyonce.
even necessarily give you like a super big reason. Like, I feel like people have been told to love her and that's why they love her. Cause like, I think if I would have heard her music from like some random on SoundCloud, I would be like, what is this?
Mm.
Like, she has great vocals and I love older Beyonce, but like, whatever it's developed into, I'm not interested in. And like,
I love Cowboy Carter.
yeah, I one of my best friends is obsessed with Beyonce. And so maybe that's also why I take such a hard stand is just like poke fun at my friend and be like, oh, I challenge you.
Yes. Um, shit, I got these contracts. So tell me, you have a fun name on there, Flubber,
Yes.
acronym, and it's got periods. Can you tell us what that means?
It's funny that you mentioned that because it's not even actually like an acronym. It's
Mm.
supposed to be a play off of my artistic signature. So let me give me 1 second. I'll grab
Yeah,
one of my
yeah.
paints so I can show you.
So, folks, as always, the Interview Podcast 513 is brought to you by Spinbin Magazine. He is that company is the reason why this is all possible. Bayside Bash, May 23rd. She's back. All right.
I'm back. Okay, so maybe you can see there's
Yeah,
a
we
really
can see
bad
it.
glare off.
There you go.
So I use the letters in my signature to make a shape of a butterfly. So it spells
Okay.
flutter. But I did that
Oh.
because I originally made art under the name Flutterby.
Mm-hmm.
But then like I wanted to be able to do something that was more creative and also something that stood out to people that way they would remember. Flutterby felt very safe. It felt like it didn't really have much meaning to
Fluttered
me.
by.
And so I was like, if I, use my artist signature and I kind of put all of my creative passions under one umbrella, not only does it make it so that I can kind of market it a little bit better and I don't have like a music account and an art account and a hair account, but also people hear the word flubber and they're like, what does that mean? Who are you? They
Yeah.
almost always think it's based off of the
The Robin Williams
Robin
movie.
Williams movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when they hear that my first name is Jordan, I literally had someone ask me like, you must play basketball because I mean flubbered Jordan, Michael
Yeah.
Jordan, and I would have
6'7".
never put that connection together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I've been
old
trying to
man.
come up with an acronym for it,
Mm-hmm.
but it hasn't quite hit me yet, and I'm not gonna like sit there and force it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you could always put it into Chat GPT and get 1,000 suggestions. But I feel like you want to. What are your thoughts on that? So, because I love to hear people's opinions. So, like somebody like me, I can't sing, I can't draw, I can't do any of those things. So, like especially like when I'm trying to make music, I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars to try and make music, and I have 5 completed songs that are out. Right?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: and also like say I record a demo and it's in an R&B style, right? And I'm like, man, I want to add some country or hear some country. I got to spend another $200-$300 just to hear that and might not like it. So for
Right?
me, I think AI as a tool to where I can, do demos and stuff like that is a cool thing. I could learn how to make a cover art real quickly. I mean, over time, or I could just save a little bit of money. I mean, am I really using all the water for my one little design?
I think the water from your little design isn't a big deal, but when you accumulate that with all of the people who are
Mm-hmm.
trying to do the same thing as you and
Mm-hmm.
kind of be able to save that time and that efficiency, I think
Mm-hmm.
that it in the big picture adds up to be something worse.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a blessing and a curse. I
Yeah.
think with the way it's unregulated right now, that's truly the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think there needs to be almost a bigger um there needs to be more rules on it. Like we're
I
kind of in the wild west with AI
Yeah,
content right
and
now.
honestly, I feel like AI should be like demand taxed or fund clean energy to fuel itself.
Yes.
And I feel like, and they are doing some things like that. It's just like, but until they're forced to, they're not going to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like we almost say, I'm a big believer in a lot of big issues like this. There needs to be a really big concerning problem for there to be a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, people are always going to try to find loopholes
Yeah.
or ways to kind of get around it. But part of the human condition is just trying to make things as like efficient and easy as possible. And so I think AI is a huge resource for that. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that it might be using in the wrong applications. And I know for me as an artist, between doing paintings and music writing and all that,
Mm-hmm.
having your likeness taken from you and how it's in every privacy
That's
policy now,
frustrating. Yes.
that's the part that freaks me out because it does make it so much easier. And so someone could just start creating things as me when I'm
Correct.
over here spending hours and hours and
Yeah.
blood, sweat, and tears and money that I don't have trying to make my dreams
You
come
know,
true.
and I get that, and I do have sympathy for the artist because I think what it's doing for like somebody that can sing or can paint, it's allowing everybody to be able to do what made you something that made you special. You know what I mean?
But I think like the human element of it is something that they can never take away.
I
And
agree. I
honestly,
agree.
like compare or like getting copied is the biggest form of flattery. So if they really feel
Correct.
like they want to train an AI model with my work, I must be doing something right. And I think that that's also going to create an untapped market for creative people where you get to be an in-person human
Yeah.
experience. Online, it's just a lot of slop and it has its place.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as a smaller individual, there's lacking third spaces for people. People are lacking community. A lot of young people aren't necessarily drinking anymore and going to bars. So I think if you
Mm-hmm.
can create a community where you bring people together and you can raise that energy with people and be an in-person experience, like I
Yeah.
think live music is going to be the thing that is about to blow up because of the AI
I
issue. So
agree.
I think
I agree. Go ahead.
yeah, I think it's important to look at a problem and rather than getting so consumed in like the worst outcome, how can you leverage that to set
Mm-hmm.
yourself apart or to create something better? I
Yeah.
think that's what we have to do. We have to adapt.
Yeah,
It's
and
not going away.
I agree. Like I do, I shoot these performance shots, and a lot of time, especially hip hop artists or just anyone, because you know we have to create so much content now that they're just putting out, and I'm like, now I'm doing more like of a raw unplugs, and I'm like, simplicity is going to be the more coveted thing. They want to hear, can you actually rap your lyrics? Can you actually sing that song? Can you just go sing a vocal, because anybody
Yeah,
can
can
lip
you
sing. Anybody can. They TikTok people make millions off of it now. Um, but I wanted to touch base with being in a new city. Is this the first time you've been away from home too
not
for a
necessarily
long
about
period?
I lived in Louisiana for a year. It was kind of like a weird blip in things. It was very random.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I think, like the first stepping stone for me to get comfortable with moving away on my own.
Yeah.
When I did that, I was dating this guy. His family lived down there.
Mm-hmm.
I have kind of a weird relationship to my family in Colorado. So I was like,
Yeah.
yes, get me out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I didn't make that move, it would have been so much scarier doing this on my own.
For sure. For sure. But how are you dealing with the isolation of a new city? I'm sure you're spending a lot of time alone. How is it correctly affecting your creative process? Is it beneficial? Do you find yourself stagnant at times?
I think it's been incredibly beneficial. And I think I was set up well for it. So when I was living in Colorado, I ended up moving to this really rural, remote area where I didn't even have internet for like 3 years.
Really?
So I was completely disconnected from everyone and everything.
Okay.
And at first it was like mind numbing. It was like
Mm-hmm.
torture. It
Yeah.
honestly felt like almost like I was in some sort of confinement. But between like the COVID shutdown and
Yeah.
then that happening, I feel like I was really able to get in tune with my own sound and my own style
Mm-hmm.
and create my own box because we're kind of fed this narrative that like, oh, if this is working for someone else, then you do the thing that's the most popular because you know it works.
Yeah.
And I think that that can work to some degree,
Mm-hmm.
but why put yourself in someone else's box? Like I think you're really limiting yourself and
Yeah.
everything kind of starts to sound the
The
same.
same. Yeah.
We don't need
Originality.
10,000 little babies.
No, but I do fuck with the original though, baby.
Because he made his own box, you
He
know?
did
And
make
so
his
I
own
think
box,
that
but he is also having trouble evolving as an
yeah,
artist. It just sounds like one long song now. And even and I felt kind of bad, like when he was supposed to go on tour with Drake, the world tour, the COVID happened. But
yeah.
him and Dirk tried to do a national tour and had to cancel it because they couldn't sell it out. But then you get these older
Mhm.
artists, like if 50 did a 25 city tour right now, it would sell out in 5 minutes.
Oh, easily.
Easily.
But nostalgia is the biggest thing to market off of. And so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
50's in that perfect range where it's like a lot of younger people know him, but also older people know him. And
Mm-hmm.
for that older crowd, they're going to say, oh my God, like I never got to see him
Mm-hmm.
when he was like in his prime. Of
Yeah.
course, I have to go do this. And so I think that that's kind of like a genius way of doing it. And I think I feel bad for a lot of newer big artists because I think they even get caught in the same trap. Like, this is your biggest hit. You need to make something that's just as good at it. So why not make almost the exact same song?
Right.
Like they it gets so formulaic that I think it kind of takes the artistry and the risk away from it.
Yeah.
And so I think you kind of end up being just like you get your 15 minutes in the limelight and then you're done.
Well, yeah, and I think we're going to see this generation because, like, you mentioned people like Lil Wayne, or I saw some people like there's an artist named Tristan Edison at Cincinnati who I love. He's great. I've seen him ride. I met him at an open mic one time, studio open mic one time, and I've seen him in real time now have like 300,000 monthly Spotify listeners, and he did that in like
Oh,
a
that's
2 3 yeah, it's amazing, 2 3 year period, but he has trouble getting support at home, and artists like Little Baby, NBA YoungBoy is a perfect example. They have like the most certified like gold, diamond singles, like over 100. But they never really had to interact with their audience in person, And I feel like,
yeah.
especially an artist that say you get the social media clout or fame before you do the in person, you get it confused like that's real admiration. You know what I mean? That like those are not real relationships. I mean, they can be as much as you want to make them, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go sell out a 10,000 seat stadium or
Oh,
even
yeah,
know how
no.
to act if you do. Like,
100%.
yeah.
Absolutely. No, and I think it's easy to forget when you're in that creative space when you're starting to get all that, especially like social media
Mm-hmm.
attention. But something I try to remind myself is when I'm like doom scrolling,
Mm-hmm.
I'll catch myself being like, okay, what was the video that I watched 3 videos ago?
Yeah.
Three,
You just
these
got
are
to
all
scroll
30
back
second
up.
clips. I can't remember. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So it's like I'm one of those people to all of the people who are
Mm-hmm.
watching me. They lock in for the 1 minute that I'm on their screen
Yeah.
and they move on to the next thing. And so
Yeah.
you cannot quantify that to what it's going to be like in person experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to learn to not be so sensitive and accept that my reels are going to do much better than my long format videos. Like now, occasionally, I get some, but honestly, if 20 to 30 people at this stage watch my full video hour long, I'm pretty happy with that. And then I average probably eight. If you add up all my platforms, 8 to 10,000 views organically a day, and I'm content with that so far. But are you one of those people that you were like talking about doom scrolling? Are you one of those people that I have a horrible habit? I save videos and playlists like by the bundle that I'm never gonna watch again. But I mean, I do, and then you go down that, and you're like, man, what was I going through during that time? Like,
Right?
you
It's
know?
kind of like a snapshot of
Yeah,
your life and you're like, "Oh God, like am
yeah,
I good?"
yeah, yeah.
I do that a lot with art stuff too. Like I get all this inspiration for crafts and stuff and so
Hmm.
I'll save it in like a playlist and I never touch it again. And
Yeah,
so when I hit creative burnout, I don't even like remember to
inspiration.
think of this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
But
it's
sometimes you don't even
basically,
remember.
yeah, basically it's just Instagram's version of Pinterest. When you
Absolutely.
say like,
And
what, which
Instagram is,
I love Pinterest, by the way. I discovered it late. Great. You know what I mean? I love
oh,
it.
it's
You're like,
amazing.
Dane, you are so good at this. And I'm like, oh, well, thanks. You know what I mean? It'd just be like some astronaut
Well,
on a butterfly in space. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay, Pinterest. I'll take that vibe.
it's
But
really good at like targeting audiences too.
correct, correct. So again, so speaking into like where we're talking headspaces and part of the creative process, um, isolation can take a toll on your mental health. Meeting new people, the failure. I tell every artist or entertainer, you have to continue to love doing it, or you'll hate it forever. And
And it shows in your work too. Like you
yeah.
can tell when someone's really invested and really interested in like
Hmm.
feeling what they have to say versus just like making it a means to an end. You can
Yeah.
totally feel the difference.
So, where do you find your best, like when you're in that mode and able to create? Like for me, like I write poetry as well, right? So I have to be kind of in a bad headspace. It seems like for it to flow. Like when I'm all happy and shit, I'm like, I'm just gonna go do shit. You know what I mean?
You're
Um,
like more present in the moment. You're not sitting there
Correct. It's
dwelling
hard to
on.
write about the happy stuff for some reason. You know what I mean? For me, But what about you? Like, are you like, all right, I'm painting happy rainbows today, and then today it's I'm a dark twisted rabbit, or like,
I think something that helps me keep variety in my art, especially with paintings, is I do
Mhm.
this thing where I'll literally close my eyes. And whether it's because I'm feeling very happy, peaceful, angry,
Mhm.
I try to like essentially just write a scribble in whatever shape it comes out to be. I try to change it into something. And that's
Mhm.
why I feel like a lot of like the proportions in my painting are kind of funny. It's like kind of
Mhm.
like new school type style. And I think
Yeah.
it releases pressure on
Yeah,
yourself
the iguana
and it
you
allows you to
did.
create in any mood.
Oh, I mean, that's awesome. So beneficial for you. Yeah, that iguana you did was fantastic. How
Oh,
you started that.
thank
Those are
you.
cool videos. I like. I just recently discovered you, but I liked the one where all is fair in love and war. That was great.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
thank
great.
you.
But the iguana, it kind of reminded you doing that and explaining that you do that took me back to my childhood. I have a great aunt who is a well-known, renowned artist in Cincinnati. I mean, she's in her 80s now, but um, we when we'd get together at Christmas, she would sit me and my cousins down and we'd play a game. Our game was like, so I would have to draw any line or shape, and then the next person would have to continue off of it, and it was like, so it was really cool to see artists actually do that. I thought she was just entertaining us so we'd stop annoying our grandma. Uh,
Well, it's kind of actually I think that's how I came up with it was something I literally learned when I was in like first grade, I think, from my
hmm
art teacher.
Yeah.
And I was like, sometimes less is more. I feel like that's my creative process. I try to keep things as simple as possible.
Yeah.
I really try not to force stuff.
hmm
If I'm trying to write a song and it takes me multiple days, I'll trash the song because I'm like, if this is making me do like mental gymnastics to make it sound
hmm
good, it's like what Drake said, don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
Like you got to just let it go.
Yeah. And I
And
get.
whatever it turns into, it turns into. And I think
Agreed.
like you can't make your art too personal because it's going to evoke a different emotion in other people. So even if
Right.
you don't think what you made is good, that doesn't mean that it's going to be like another person's favorite thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is like, and that guy. I love that too because one of the things I'm trying to do, and actually I completed it. One of my goals when I came down here to Florida, back down to Florida, is I am trying to build this bridge and pipeline between where I live now and Cincinnati, right? And I would love to take artists like where say you have something with an open burst, right? You're like, hey Dane, you got anybody down there in Florida that can hop on this? And then you bring two artists together that may or may not have ever met, never spoken, but they're able to create that music. And now when we release it, we are already in two cities, two states, right? So I was able to do that with an artist, Gigi and Baby. It was kind of funny. So I was doing a music review show with Bally Quinn and Net Cincy, and it was one of the songs that was submitted, and I fucked with it. And I played it forever, and then he was like, "Well, if you want to do something, want to go ahead." So there's an artist down here named Matt. He hopped on it. It's great. You heard it.
Yeah,
I got to learn how to
turned out
promote that
phenomenal.
shit. Yeah, but I want to do it like I think it would be cool. Then like the first time they meet is when they go on a stage and perform it together. Like, wouldn't that be cool? You know what I mean?
Especially to see like the dynamic on stage between two people who like have kind of met each other in like this weird disconnected way
Yeah,
and then they finally get to come together and
yeah.
see that that would be
It'd be
such a
such a
raw
magic. Yeah.
experience.
So that's goals. It's there. It's there. So being from Aspen, and you said you were out in the wilderness like Kanye was in Wyoming for a while.
Yeah.
Did you know what he was trying to do out there? I don't know if you're a Kanye fan. I'm a huge Kanye fan, minus the Semitism. You know,
Right.
I feel when he takes his medicine, he's not like that, or maybe he is. I don't know, but
No, and that's a very real thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Where do you like? So we've talked like in society, it's much more competitive. It's getting out there, but you're still painting. You're doing this. Uh, does demographically does that influence your creativeness? I'm just reading. Difference in creative spaces depending on where you live is how you put it. I'm just trying to make it wordy.
Oh, no. Hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
As a wordy person, I do not mind it. I feel like the biggest thing that when I was living in the area of Colorado that I was from, there was not really a big music scene. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of the things that you'd find was like at open mic nights, it'd be people who are in their like 60s doing
Mm-hmm.
Grateful Dead covers and
Yeah.
that type of thing, you know? And so I think I kind of had a naive sense of what it was like to bring yourself into a new creative scene where there's a lot more competition. I feel like that was the thing I immediately noticed is I would walk into a room, and a lot of this is my anxiety
Mm-hmm.
talking. I will say this is probably a big projection of just insecurity, but it feels like you walk into a room and people are automatically sizing you up
Mm-hmm.
and trying to
Oh, they
like,
100% are.
Absolutely. And it's like, they'll say all the things to make themselves feel or seem supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the biggest thing I've noticed since going to a few open mic nights and putting myself out there is like I'm constantly underestimated and I love it because that feeling of being able to go on a stage and show your talent and watch people be shocked by you. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, I'm a player in this game too. I may not be the
absolutely.
most competitive, showy person and I'm never going to try to put other people down,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm here and I'm
Yeah,
not going anywhere.
yeah,
You
and you're
can't
gonna
scare
take
me.
advantage of your moment. And for me, like I love hosting. Not I don't I try not to burn myself out anymore because like I'm sorry, there is nothing more intoxicating and addictive than being on a stage with a mic in front of a live audience and you have them in the palm of your hand and they're fucking with you and you're setting the mood and it's you and you're seeing it in real time and that is an amazing feeling.
You feel
You
like a conductor,
you
you're like,
do.
wow, look at me. I
Yeah.
am the creator of this
You get a
energy. This is
vibe
so
and you
cool.
get a vibe and you
Everyone look under their chairs.
yeah.
Everyone gets a vibe.
Everyone gets a vibe. So what? First, tell the folks before we get where can they find you? Where can they if they want to buy your art? Where is it maybe available? Um,
I would say for artwork, I do have a page on Facebook. That's the best place to be able to find artwork, find pricing, all that kind of stuff. I post it on Instagram as well. I'm not super
what's
showy
the
with
name
like
of
the
that page?
purchasing. Flubber. All of it should be listed under F.L.U.B.R.
With the periods in between, or just like that?
Just Instagram. Instagram didn't. I think someone might have tried to steal my name first. I was like, who even came up with that? I need
Those
to meet them.
fuckers. Okay.
Honestly.
Okay. So Flubber on Facebook. Um, what do you got? You've been working at Blacklight. You've been doing
Yep,
some
yep.
recording over there, which I unfortunately, so one of the few the studios I didn't get to get into, and I hear so many things, so I'm a little bit jealous. Max is doing wonderful with his new role there, um, and you've done some open mics at Blacklight. Tell me a little bit about your experience there and what you're working on, if we can know.
Oh,
Because
of
when you
course.
told me that you like do, I didn't expect you to be a rapper, to be honest. Like I
Well,
didn't.
and it's not necessarily like it's what I write a lot of. Like everything that
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of turns into more like vocal type rap.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be in like a rock band though. Like I love more vocals. It's just something I have a hard time writing and like
Mm-hmm.
finding the melodies for and whatnot. But Blacklight's amazing. And I think that this story is a good way to tell that they are a very safe space for creative people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went there one night with a friend that I had met through Instagram who also makes music. And I had no intention of singing. I just wanted to go meet creative people, support
Mm-hmm.
my friend, watch. But everyone was there to perform. And I was like, well, shit, I wrote a bunch of music like 5 years ago. I've always wanted to perform it to people and see like the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try it. So I try sending them my link and it doesn't work. It's like literally just a picture of my
You got to
of
have
my
an
thing. So I get up
MP3
on
or Wave
stage.
ready.
Yes. So I get up on stage, they build me up and they're like, "Oh, actually, you don't have shit. Try again." So I send them a YouTube link
Yeah.
and my song starts playing over someone else's set. And I'm like this new girl, no one already knew who I was. I was already getting sized up and
Yeah.
everything. Oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing. So I
Yeah.
get up on
Way to
stage
break the ice.
and absolutely. I was like, wow, this will really make people remember me. Like, I
Yeah.
better do okay. And so I get up there and, like, I didn't feel scared, but my body did. I was sitting there, my voice was shaking, and I was like, Jordan, project, you can do it.
Yeah.
And so I totally thought that I, like, messed up my connections in the creative scene, made a
Mm-hmm.
fool of myself. But Blacklight Studio ended up reaching out to me and they were like, we really appreciate you coming out. We would love to be able to, like, help you in areas that, like, you may need help.
Mm-hmm.
And they made it feel like such a comfortable experience and
Good.
actually made me feel willing to continue to go down the path of
Mm-hmm.
music again, be willing to make those mistakes and
Mm-hmm.
grow, not be scared of the perception. And
Mm-hmm.
so working with them was amazing.
Yeah. And
And
I
it's cool
think.
because
Go ahead. Go ahead.
a lot
It's
of
cool.
their people are still learning too. So it's like as a small artist, like
Mm-hmm.
we can kind of learn and have
Mm-hmm.
fun and experiment together, which I thought was really
Yeah,
fun.
and that's what the point of those open mics, the ones that I threw, the one that Shiri and her team at Amani Productions does there and at Galaxy. Every other week they have one at Galaxy too. Is that's what we love first timers, and it's a big deal because it takes a lot of courage to get up there and do that and to be intimate with an audience and to potentially, because it's brutal when they ain't fucking with you, dude. But it's you're
Uh,
not all of them are going to be home runs. You know what I mean? But that's the learning experience, and it's really nice to be able to have an artist be enjoyed and perform for other artists. You know what I mean? And they know what you're going through.
that was like I think the biggest takeaway for me was I do well under pressure. So even if I know I'm bombing something, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to play it off well on stage and just like
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge it. And I think that that was something that kind of saved my butt was like I can kind of, I don't want to say set the narrative, but like
Mm-hmm.
this will only be as big of a deal as I make it. So I'm
Right.
not going to stop in the middle of my set. I'm going to keep pushing through. I'm going to acknowledge that I appreciate them listening and
Mm-hmm.
making me feel comfortable enough to do that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's how you start to build good relationships with people in that space in the beginning.
Yeah, and it's very important, and this is one of my mantras. I just let it chant at it. My last one, Mike, is if you want support, you got to give it. So, if you want people to know you, you gotta go, gotta get out there. I know you might be introverted. Well, take a buddy with you. You know what I mean? Take a safety buddy, or, if you need to leave, but you have to make appearances. You have to talk to people. And it's one thing, and it even more so to further it. Like it's one thing to go meet the network, introduce yourself, but once you meet and have that contact, you then have to follow up and work that
Yeah.
network and contact. And if you keep doing that, you'll notice your progression, and so will that. Um,
Oh, absolutely. And I think especially creatives get a lot of slack for being a little hot and cold, maybe a little
mhm.
unreliable. I think a lot of people who get into the arts have very extreme emotions. And it's kind of like what you were
Yeah,
talking about. Like sometimes you feel like you can only write when you're going through a depressive episode. And
yeah,
so it makes us hard to work with because, yeah, like in the moment when you catch us locked in, we're going to be ready to grow. We're going to be ready to put ourselves out there, but we could just as quickly turn that switch off and go ghost mode,
yeah,
and you're only hurting yourself by doing that. Like success comes through consistency, and
one
so you
hundred
have to
percent.
show up for yourself and you have to be willing to show up for others too if you expect to get, it's a give and take.
Yeah, and I had to learn too. So like I'm a little almost 5 months now, like clean from narcotics, right? Uh, I
Congratulations.
love to go skiing, just not in Denver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did for a long time, and honestly, I was still able to accomplish, but I was putting a ceiling on myself. And then I would go out to these, this throw an event or run this session. I would be this social conductor, but I couldn't wait to go home and isolate myself in a room, so I go do drugs. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that destructive behaviors, can stall, inspire, or it affects your personal life and your creative process. Um, it also can ruin your outlets because if I kept that a secret. Like some people knew, like they really knew. I didn't really shy away from it, but I've never been a person that I'm not a social drug user. I wasn't a social drug user. I also was never like, hey, you want some drugs? Because I didn't want people to know that because it could affect business. And then I finally got to a point where I was like, hey, I did tell some people, and
Yeah.
they within a month they weren't fucking like it was like god damn like but they were like, hey, we want to support you, and I'm like, but do you really though? Like, can I call you?
Words are words.
Yeah, don't say that like I'm here, you want to be my like sponsor, mentor, or whatever. But the first time I got a problem or you know it's an issue. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's like the second you show people depth and you're vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
it scares people away.
It
And
does.
it's a damn shame, but that's like one of my biggest messages that I try to inflect through my art and whatnot. Like I think it's important to talk about that pain. I think it's important to be vulnerable. I think it's also I think it's important to be there for people and not like realize that like your decisions have nothing to do with me, but I can still be there to support you as you're trying to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never understood that mentality of like, oh, I can't hang out with this person because their actions reflect badly on me. It's like I'm living my life. You're making your own decisions.
One
Like,
hundred percent. 100%. Now, how have you? I mean, it is Cincinnati being so small. Like, if you're in the scene and you're active, there's politics always. There's your
yeah,
gatekeepers. So I would, like you were saying, it was interesting to hear my perspective as a native. I would love to
yeah,
hear your perspective 1 year in. Because sometimes you might walk into a venue or a space and it's very welcoming, and then you said
yeah.
sometimes like you walk in and they're like, "Who is this bitch?" You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yep.
Go ahead. Like I would love to
I
hear that.
I think the biggest part that I have a really hard time getting away from feeling like everybody hates me when I walk into a room, and
Mm-hmm.
I try to use that as fuel to like do stuff for myself. And I think that that's why living alone for so long and being isolated like that really helped, because I'm
Yeah.
so secure in myself that I can kind of handle those eyes and I can
Mm-hmm.
kind of handle those opinions and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I also get extremely frustrated because I see a lot of the natives here who have so much like history with one another,
Yeah.
where they like trust each other and they want to collaborate with each other, and it seems like they're like,
It's
as
clicky.
someone from the outside, it feels very gate kept. And even if people tell me like, "Oh, we love what you're doing, keep coming out,"
Mm-hmm.
their words don't align with their actions or
That's
their level
real.
of communication or commitment. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's something that's hard for me, and I try to use it as fuel. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it takes a village. Like I
It
cannot do all
absolutely
of the
does.
projects that I want to do by myself.
No.
And so I never want to be desperate asking for help. I
Yeah.
never want to, be pushy with people or try to view things as like being transactional.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes the little kid in me feel like the last person getting picked to play kickball.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you some. So I know you where. What part of town do you live in, may I ask?
I'm in Hyde Park.
I love Hyde Park. I love it there.
It's a mixed bag. I'm excited to move to
No, I
somewhere
love to
different.
visit
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Actually, so
It's
have you been
fun.
to Alt Park? It's AULT.
Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you a funny story. So I was in an independent short film one time, and I got a call, and I had never met the director, and she was like, "Hey," this was around the George Floyd incident time.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
So I get the call. She was like, "Hey, I heard you're interested." I was like, "Yeah," and I was at a party, and she's like, well, how? Let me ask you this: How do you feel about the police?" And I was like, "Well, if they're acting like that, we got to do something. They should be held accountable. Yada yada yada." She's like, "All right, cool. We are going to be shooting at cops in the scene." I was like, "That sounds fantastic." So I'm in this mindset. I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I get there. It's like 98 degrees. And they're like, "Hey, can you sit over there while we finish the scene?" I'm like, "That's in the direct sun." And I think they're trying to agitate me, obviously. But as I'm talking to them, I'm like, okay, I'm slowly realizing that I'm not shooting at any police. I'm the white racist cop they're about to murder.
You are the cop. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, the funniest part is like, it's all, first of all, I don't know why they would pick a crowded park that I'm a cop that already murders you in the whitest neighborhood in the middle of the day. I would feel
Yeah.
safe as I possibly could be at that. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it's funny because like, so we had the gun, they're holding it up, and this good old boy gets out of his truck and he's like, "Hey bro, are you good? I got it in the back if you need it." I'm like, "Nah bro, we filming, it's cool, it's cool. But that was funny. So
Oh my
I died.
gosh, what a mess.
Yeah, I died on film that day. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, I love that all park. But what I was gonna say is, there's some areas, and I can give you a list if you really want to find some more outlets that aren't just like in the city and are like you keep finding the same crowds over and over and over again. I mean, obviously foster those. Go to the suburbs. Like the suburbs are just
Yeah.
as big, if not bigger than downtown. You just got to research them.
That's the whole reason I picked Hyde Park, because when I was in Colorado, a lot of apartments wouldn't talk to me because I was so far away. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of a means to an end. And when I was doing research, it was shown that this was, one of the safer places to be. And
Yeah.
coming from, a tiny little crevice in the mountains, I was like, I don't want to just throw myself into the thick of it because I know I'll get eaten up a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now I have a better gauge on, the better places to be and whatnot. And I would love to be
Mm-hmm.
more connected to people. I feel like here everyone runs. Like I just saw a toddler run by the other day that had better running form than me, and I did track. I was like, okay, I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta find my people because this is crazy. This is
That's
not
not
my scene.
everyone. I moved down here, and I feel like everyone in Florida could compete nationally for speed walking. And maybe it's just like I'm not in a rush. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm not in a rush. It's gonna be fine, guys. It's gonna be fine.
We'll
Um,
get where we need to go.
yeah, they get where they need to go. So, again, I guess let's touch back. What you're working on music right now?
Yep, I got
Uh,
a song coming out on March 21st.
okay. What's that? Do we got a
Is
title
it-
yet?
Yes, it's called Thank You.
Okay. What tell me a little bit about it. What's the vibe? What's the style? Like,
Something that I'm very intrigued to see what people think of when I release this is I tried to leave the messaging kind of vague so a lot of people could relate to it, but it's a
mhm,
little bit of like a more heartfelt piece.
mhm,
When I wrote it, I was thinking about, I think the overlying theme is kind of like abandonment and the emotions that come with that when it's like you really need somebody, you love them, you care about them, and
mhm.
you no longer like have access to them.
Yeah.
But truly, when I was writing it, it was almost like a conversation between like my child self and my parents while they were getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you'd really be able to tell that through the song when you first listen to it. There's a lot of just like very personal pieces in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited for people to listen to it because it's very laid back, very chill. I got some vocals in there. We have a little bit of like more vocal rap in there. I feel like it's a very good evolutionized feel from my previous music.
Nice, nice. Well, maybe we'll get a little sneak peek if I can talk her into it to play in here.
Yeah,
So
happily, yeah.
what is your like? Okay, so like we're making this track, and then we'll get the visual. Obviously, are you gonna make like an EP, or are you just gonna kind of work on a single at a time? What's your process or
For now, I
plans?
think I'm going to start with singles.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more easy to digest, and that way I can kind of get a feel for what people enjoy and what I enjoy making.
Mm-hmm.
Even also just like when it comes to like the resources I have.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first song that I've ever recorded in a professional studio, and it makes it hard to make it feel like I can go back to my little tiny homemade studio because all of my
Mm-hmm.
equipment is very old, and I'm not very educated on like how to mix things and
Yeah.
whatnot. So it
Well,
shows that it's very
yeah.
homemade.
Well, I always tell
Um,
people if you have a home studio, flesh it out, your idea out, your song, and then use it as like your beginning tool. And then when you're
yeah.
ready, yes, take it to the studio. That way, you also save yourself some money. You know.
Because that's what I figured is I'm like, if I can, I think I could get away with recording it, like a very raw recording, and
Mm-hmm.
then bringing it to someone to mix. And I think that that would kind of help bridge that gap a little bit. And that way
Mm-hmm.
I'm still putting extra love into my music and I'm
Mm-hmm.
growing a bit. But I also am not robbing myself because, yeah, I'm like, I'm taking a lot of really stupid risks at the moment, especially when it comes to music.
How do you
My
mean?
car died at the beginning of this year.
Oh, that
And so
sucks.
I got myself into a car that I can't afford. And so, like, I literally can't afford my life right now, but I still like insist on making projects and putting money into my projects
Mm-hmm.
because I know eventually it'll pay off and it like gives me therapy. And
Yeah.
so like I'm like I guess I would rather rap than eat food is kind of where I'm at
Hey,
right now.
we do this shit because we love this shit.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, work your networks. There are options. I mean, there's tons of spaces that you can pop up at a vendor space. I mean, do you have like an online just besides from your Facebook store? Have you ever thought of doing like an Etsy for your art or anything like that?
That's kind of what I'm in the works on right now is I need
Mm-hmm.
to make some sort of like either Etsy or like Depop, utilize one of those platforms to
Mm-hmm.
be able to have a more user friendly way of getting my art
Yeah,
out there. But I'm kind of in a position where I'm trying to build my collection too. And
yeah.
so I'm kind of battling like, do I just do it one piece at a time and try to like, really market it home? Or if I want to start vending, I feel like I almost have to like hoard my collection so that way I
I
can
get what you're
have more
saying.
pieces to bring out to people.
Well, but here's
Yeah.
the thing, though. Like, so I was thinking about making an offer because I'm going to do this. How deep are you into like? I know you were talking. Maybe you had mentioned that you might want to sell like some a bleach or acid wash stuff, or
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Is that
Almost like
all you
take my
do, or do you
painting.
do all kinds of like? Are you going to print? I'm sorry, I was trying to explain. Like, what do you want to do with the fashion side? Because I love fashion.
I think people are also more likely to wear their art than they are to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I've been trying to kind of make it more catered to people. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want to take the painting skills that I have and do like essentially you can take like black clothing and you can
Mm-hmm.
use bleach in order to be able to like paint different pieces of art on it.
Oh,
And
that's
it
amazing.
also uses like my hairdresser knowledge because I know how to work with bleach. I know how
Mm-hmm.
long you have to let things sit on to get to a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to start doing that so that way I can almost make wearable
Mm-hmm.
paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also get like fabric paint and go to the thrift store, buy like a denim jacket or a pair of jeans and draw like a little or paint a little mural on a pocket. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of what I want to do to be able to kind of mix my two mediums together.
Mm-hmm.
Um and so that's something I've been on the work or like trying to work on, but it's one of the more expensive projects. And so
Yeah.
I kind of have to like pick and choose when I do it cuz like I said I'm taking stupid risks, but I also am not trying to like put myself in a hole too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to be
for sure.
strategic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You got to be smart about it, but I mean, you're always going to have to spend money to make money. Um,
exactly.
so
Yeah,
somehow
absolutely.
I have been very fortunate with getting other people to let me spend their money, which is I don't know if that's like
Well,
my
and if you know how to like
superpower, but
if
which
you know how to communicate with people,
yeah,
It's such a big skill. I learned that when I was in high school, I was in the ski club, and I had to go to the school board and ask them to fund the ski club so that way we could go to different, hills
Mm-hmm.
and do different competitions and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And I was supposed to have like a whole team of kids with me because
Mm-hmm.
they were like, "Oh, if the kids ask, they're gonna get the pity vote. Like, we'll definitely get that
Yeah.
money." And then no one showed up, so I was the only one that was like,
Womp womp womp.
we're gonna need $2,500 for this trip."
Yeah.
But that taught me a lot of
Did
like
they
you
give it
have
to
to
you?
market yourself. Yeah, they gave it to me.
There you go. Air 5.
Yep. Woo.
Yeah. Well, I was going to think, maybe we get off here. Do you already have some of your pieces that you've done, like fashion wise? Have you done?
I just sold my last one, so I need to go make some more.
I mean, you have some pictures and stuff, right? No.
No.
Oh.
No, I had made it for myself
Mhm.
and I was at work one day and someone bought it like literally off of my body.
Oh, well, that must have been dope.
Yeah.
You're like,
It
yeah,
was it
sure.
was it was really cool. So that's another thing is I'm just trying to like I just recently came out of this weird like it's funny when you were talking about how you like to go skiing.
Hmm.
My version of that is I love smoking weed, but I think I like it because it turns me off. I dissociate and I
Yeah.
just kind of like melt away. And so I just
Hmm.
got out of a huge period of time where I did that.
Hmm.
And so now I'm trying to be better at like marketing myself,
Yeah.
making these things
Yeah.
happen. So I
Anything
will
in
have
excess is
pictures.
dangerous. Anything in excess
Yeah.
is dangerous. Well, what I was gonna say, because I am gonna look for a designer to dress me with a few outfits
Oh,
for my event in May, and whoever I choose, I'll exchange like a vendor booth. So
cool.
even if you got some sketches, or maybe we could discuss that, and we could kind of flesh it out. I know you're a struggling artist, so maybe we can make that exchange. But I got to see what you got. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, you can't just like
Yeah.
faithlessly go like, yeah, here you go. No, and I think that I would totally be open to having that conversation. Like maybe send me like a
Because
few
I
pictures of
like
stuff that you like.
awkward and absurd. Like I
Cool.
always like to look like I'm out of place, and sometimes that's just me dressing age appropriate and going to like noticing my open mic.
Right.
I'm like I'm 40, dude. Yes, I'm wearing a polo and khakis. Like what?
Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah. What do you want from me, dude? And don't leave my fanny pack out of this. You got a purse on. You know.
I love a fanny pack. Yeah, literally a purse.
Yeah.
Your little man
Oh,
purse.
Merce. So I'm trying to think. I'm gonna take a quick break. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Hold on. So we're gonna pause. Oh, we're at 48 minutes though. All right, guys, we are back from a commercial break. Thanks again to our sponsors, Spin Ben Magazine and Dynamic Health and Wellness. They let us do this, so it's fantastic. But you want to play a game with me?
Yeah, let's play a game.
Okay, so this is a game they're called Blind Top Five. You may or may not have seen it, but I'll explain it to the folks that don't know how it is. I'm going to give you a category. Today's category is going to be top ranking the top five Adult Swim shows that I pick. How it works is I will give you a name. You will rank them 1 through 5. Once you rank them, that number is locked. You cannot change it, but you also don't know what's coming next. So, my job is kind of trying to make you like put the shittiest show at number 1, but we'll see how you do because it's all opinion based. And you're a lot younger than me, so I don't know if these shows, but I feel like you're a sucker for the classics. I feel like,
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
I got an
So,
old soul. Like I watch a lot of older stuff. Literally, my new song, I reference a song from 1979. So I
what
think
was
we'll
the
be good.
song?
Oh, well, the movie, I apologize. I referenced a
What
movie.
was the movie?
Last Embrace.
I've never even heard of it. That's older than me. What? Who's in that?
It's a good one.
She sounds
It has Christopher Walken in it.
okay.
There's the other actors I don't know. I literally just watched it because it has Christopher Walken in it,
Yeah,
and I wanted to see
Christopher
what he looked
Walken's
like
great.
as a young lad.
He kind of looks the same, just less wrinkly.
Oh, 100%. And less like a villain. I don't
Yes.
know. There's something about when he was younger where it's like you would have never known that he would grow up to play every villain ever.
Yeah, yeah. I still think one of my favorite roles of his was in Click with Adam
Oh,
Sandler.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he played God essentially. If it's not going to be Morgan Freeman playing God for me, it's going to be Christopher Walken. You know what I
You
mean?
took the words out of my mouth. He's white
Yeah,
god.
yeah. I feel like they'd be funny as fuck. But anyway, we're gonna play. So this is Blind Top Five. We're gonna start out right out the gates with my favorite, Rick and Morty.
I'm gonna put Rick and Morty at 3.
Ooh, okay. R and M. Then we're gonna go. Let's see. We're gonna go Robot Chicken. I love that show. Seth Green was great.
It
When the claymation was good.
has such a like nostalgic place in my heart too. I'm going two.
Ooh, Robot Chicken.
People are gonna hate me for putting Rick and Morty below Robot
Yeah,
Chicken, but if
it's
you get it, you
okay.
get it.
You do it. You do. You do. I do think the rewatch value of Rick and Morty is a little better than Robot Chicken. Not all of that is aged as well.
No,
Yeah,
not at
but
all.
I think
But
that.
the artistry, like you said, the
Mhm.
claymation, the variety, like I can, even if it's bad art, I can find a way to appreciate it. And I just
Yeah.
like, I love that they really shot their shot there.
Yeah. Now, this one is another classic, and it was the first show that really got me hip to Adult Swim. Is Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Whew.
Meatball cracks me up. Carl.
Oh my gosh. They did such a good job with the character writing on that show. Like
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. Where we put it at? You got 1, 4, or 5 left.
I'm gonna go four.
Okay. Aqua Teen. Of course, we cannot have a list of Adult Swim shows without the Boondocks.
Oh yeah, number one.
Number
Number
one.
one. Yeah, yeah. I was hoping you would say that show. I
Yeah,
was like, I'm holding
of
out. I'm holding
course.
out.
And I think it's great that Regina King, I believe her name is, that voices both of those
Yeah.
voices.
I
Uh,
cannot unsee it. Now that I saw her doing like a
mhm.
segment of the voice acting, whenever I watch that show, I'm like, damn, like that's crazy. I would have never
Yeah,
thought.
and they keep saying like people, obviously the fanatics and the longtime fans, they're like, maybe we should do a live action version. And I'm like, I don't think it would translate as well.
You need to have like that's the one thing I love about cartoons is you can conceptualize movements and ideas that just you can't do in real life.
Yeah.
Even with CGI or AI or whatever, like no,
Mhm.
it and even like the art style goes so true to the show's topic. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's perfect the way it is. We do not need to keep remaking everything.
No, I agree. And then I guess we will put, Metal Apocalypse.
Oh,
Metal, Metal.
Metalocalypse.
Yeah, thank you. That's
I
gonna be your
got
number
you.
5.
Yeah, I feel
Uh,
good about that lineup. Yeah.
yeah, not a bad lineup. So, Blind Top 5 Adult Network shows. Jordan's not number 5. We had Apocalypse. Yeah, Metalocalypse. Number 4, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Shake and the Gang coming in. Number 3, surprise, Rick and Morty. Robot Chicken ahead. You're probably gonna get some haters for that, but I do shout out to
Oh,
Seth
for
Green
sure.
for him to do
I'm
that
ready.
show
I'll
and
take
then
the
be
vote.
on Family Guy, the second longest running show, which is great. And then number 1, Boondocks. Shout out to them. Who's your favorite character on Boondocks?
Oh gosh. That is a really good question.
Yeah.
Honestly, fuck, what is his name? The
Let's look it up. Go ahead. Who do you
he's
think it is?
I'm
Oh,
tied between the grandpa or like the crazy guy who lives down the
yeah,
street
yeah,
who's
the
like the
crazy
most
racist guy,
racist person. Yeah. I'm like, dude, like accept yourself. Stop trying to do all that.
Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle
Uncle
Ruckus.
Ruckus
Yes,
was
he
hilarious. And I think either if they did a live action, it's either of course like your first thought would be like Samuel L. Jackson, but you know who I think would
yeah.
do it even better is like Tracy Morgan.
Ooh, if you had Tracy Morgan as Uncle Ruckus
Yeah,
and then Samuel L. Jackson playing their
their
grandfather.
grandfather. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Because John
Yep.
Witherspoon, rest in peace, John Witherspoon passed. I love
Oh,
his characters. He plays the perfect Uncle Dad type role. Like in like Friday. Well, when I come in, every time I
oh.
come in the kitchen, you in the goddamn kitchen. Nah. Yeah, I mean, but all those characters are great. I mean, like, even like the white rapper guys that was like
Oh
that
yeah.
was Samuel L. Jackson. One of those was played by Samuel L. Jackson, Gin Rummy, and then Charlie Murphy. I thought it was funny that they played the white guys like that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah.
I'm really bad about that. I need to do better deep dives into the stuff that I like to watch
Mhm.
because when it comes to like the people who play stuff, the people who act like voice act stuff, I'm so clueless and like I can never remember references either for shit. I think the only thing I can quote is
Yeah.
SpongeBob, and that's like
Yeah.
really
See, now I come from a time, and it shows my age, like before, like memes and like you had sound bites and trending audio sounds and audio. Like we just referenced movies, like Anchorman. People my age reference that still to
yes.
this day. And now I know I'm getting older because I will drop a gem of a reference or a quote, and a girl your age will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I was interested too. It
Oh,
went all weird on me, and I was like, oh, I'll just go fuck myself. But
you're like, get it.
here's a DVD. Do you not? You can go educate yourself. Um,
Oh my gosh, get some culture.
yeah, 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 yeah. So speaking of, again, tell the folks where they can find you at. And then I'm gonna have, as we close out, I have a couple questions after that point that I do the same thing. Okay. Where can we find
Perfect.
you?
I'm most active on Instagram. It's F.L.U.B.
Yeah. And then it's a picture of her.
If, if you search Flubber, you'll find me though.
Mhm.
I do also have a YouTube channel under the same name.
Mhm.
I don't post on there as often, and it's very random. We're kind of just throwing shit at a wall, seeing what sticks. So feel free
Same.
to help me figure out what I'm doing.
Girl, if you can figure it out, I can, because I put them all on there, and I feel like TikTok and YouTube are the hardest
Yeah.
to get traction. But then, surprisingly, a video that you don't think is going to do shit does really well there. Um,
I had that happen with Instagram the other day. I posted this video of me yelling about the rain, and
mhm.
people
It
just
was
keep
hilarious. I saw the
going
video.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
yeah. It's
I was
crazy
just,
what
it was
people resonate with, is it not?
absolutely, yeah. And especially as like an artist, it's frustrating when you put hours into something and you're like, wow, this is going to pop off. And then like you could just yell at a camera and that's going to be the thing that people recognize you
Yeah, and
for.
it's kind of like you were saying, like art, music, everything is subjective, and how people interpret it is going to be individualized based on that person. So, like when
Yeah.
I've done that, I've wrote something or seen something, and I'm like, everybody's going to perceive it this way, and then they don't at all, and you're like,
No. And
okay, It's like,
people don't like the performativeness of like creativeness. I don't know, like
mm,
if when it comes to like especially like paintings and music and all that kind of stuff, like you have to be really delicate. Like you have to really try. I found the comedy approach is the way to go. The more like you
100%.
can seem like you don't care and that you're making it funny, the
Hmm.
more people are going to see you as like a human, and not somebody who's
Yeah.
just like hustling. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, 100%. So, I want to ask if you could compare your artistry, whether it's your music, your paintings, or whatever, or as a whole, to any type of food, what would it be
Ooh.
and why?
I would say I think I would compare it to like a French fry because you
Okay.
can dress it up a lot of different ways. It's
Hmm.
very versatile. But at the end of the day, it can also be kind of a little bland and tasteless, you know? It
Hmm.
really depends on what you choose to do with it, how you choose to eat it,
Hmm.
what type you choose to order. I try to have a little bit of something for everybody,
Hmm.
but it definitely leaves like jack of all trades, master of none type of thing. Yeah, it's a little basic.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm Dane. She's a potato. You know. Just kidding. I love potatoes too. It's the best food. It's the best food. It is. It's the best food, and it makes you
Accessible
happy.
to everybody. They can grow through anything. They're like
Yeah.
super resilient.
Yeah.
That's another thing I can love
Remember
about a
when Matt
potato.
Damon grew it up with his shit on Mars? That was crazy.
See, they can endure and survive
They
anything.
can. Shout out to the
Hmm.
Spuds. Shout out to the Spuds. Thank you, Ireland. Okay, so if for those that don't know you, haven't yet discovered you, uh, why should they know Jordan, aka Flubber? And then following up, why should they not forget you? So why should they know you? Why should they not forget you?
I think that people should know me because I have a very clear vision of things that I am looking to do with my
Hmm.
art. I really want to be an advocate for people who have a hard time advocating for themselves, whether
Yep.
that's through mental health struggles or, I mean, any struggle, really. I really want to try to be there to speak out on topics that are hard for people to talk about and bring recognition to places that have flawed systems around them.
Hmm.
And I think people should not forget me because I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to be myself regardless of how it's perceived.
Hmm.
And I'm weird. I think that's worth remembering.
Yeah,
Like,
I love weird and awkward, man, because we are all
yeah,
little weirdos.
absolutely.
I love, especially, and I think with my generation, like I was talking about that, dressing like age appropriately and stuff. But I love like dudes our age, like we're wearing our cartoon and anime shirts at 40. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we have our weird outfits, and it's retro and cool now. But really, we just all want to be big kids. you know.
Oh,
At, yeah,
100%.
at the end of the day, and if that's what makes Jerry happy at the office, let him wear his fucking weird little corny shirt, Um,
Well, and it's so funny because, like, when I was a kid, I used to actually get made fun of because I would be like 45 minutes late to school because I would need my hair to be in like this big Cindy Lou Who hairstyle. And I thought if one dress was cute, that like a t shirt and a tank top and a dress and leggings, all in different patterns, like
yeah.
I got called the crazy bag lady as a kid. And now it's cool. So I'm like, you should remember me
Yeah.
because I'm ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you were ahead of the curve for sure, for sure. I mean, I remember what it was like to have hair. Unfortunately, I don't anymore, so I got a cool haircut. But like, I was still unfortunate. Like, I have hair envy as a grown man now, and it's real. Like, you beautiful long-haired bit men. I want to flow and go like this one time. But like, even when I had it, dude, I could not do anything. It was like where I had a cowlick here, a cowlick here. It laid flat, so I would use that like LA hair gel and just it was like a cement helmet. It wasn't sexy. It looked cool in pictures, though. I guess. But
Well, no, and
go
I
ahead.
feel bad for people who end up losing their hair. It's tough. I saw a comedy special about that where the
Yeah.
he was like, people are so mean to us. Like, don't tell me I got a good shaped head for it. Is that really what we've come to? I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
gosh, I've said that to people.
And I think I did it to a little bit of myself. Again, I'm aging myself, but when I was in high school, Eminem was exploding everywhere, and he was bleach blonde, so I would bleach my hair. But I had this really
Nice.
dark hair, and so my high school girlfriend and her mom, they would buy me a bleach kit, and I would bleach it. And I don't know if they really knew what they were doing because I would blister my like I have like blisters, and
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that definitely helps lead to my balding. Um,
definitely didn't help. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm starting to make some money now. I'm gonna try some wigs out, and I really just I'm gonna start wearing them, and then I'm gonna refuse to address that I have them, even if you know me. Like I don't know what you're talking about. And then you see who your real friends are. Do they make me feel stupid about it, or they're like, you know what? He looks happy. Let him be happy. You know?
I shaved my head in 2020, and
You
that
you
was
Britney bitched?
a little bit. Yeah, I got a really bad hair color done, and I said, well, my hair is falling out, so you might as well just shave it. And oh, it does show you how people truly feel.
Yeah.
But wigs were so much fun, and it was
Yeah.
fun to like walk into a room being like bald one day, and then the next day you have
Yeah.
like hair down to here, and you're like, what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
And I am sorry. Your hair looks lovely now. It's grown back nice.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. It is a little jarring though, like women, and they have the wigs where they do this and like from day to day, because like it, I'm like, and it looks beautiful, but like it's like you had this much hair and now you have hair, like it's
It makes me believe the movies where like the girl takes off the glasses and
mm,
like straightens her hair and all of a sudden she's like the pinnacle of beauty because that's so real. As
yeah,
somebody who is chronically either looking homeless
hmm,
or like done up to the nines, I've
yeah,
had people like not recognize me
hmm,
just because of a wig or just because I have glasses. And so like have
yeah.
fun with that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Try some things, man. And if they don't like it, who cares? Who cares? Wear
Weeds
it
them out.
for you. Well, excellent. We are going to be. Thank you for having me. This is Jordan, aka F.L.U.B.R. You can find her where she said. We'll put that in there. I want to thank again Spendman Magazine as our sponsor and partner. Thank you to Dynamic Health and Wellness. Be on the lookout for Bayside Memorial Bash in May. We have all kinds of things going on. I'm excited. Jordan, don't go anywhere. But thanks to folks at home. That's a wrap. So I'm just going to quit recording here.